Hi, I'm Jodi,
And I'm Kandy,
and this is our uncensored,
unsolicited.
but since you're here, it's now not unsolicited opinion on all things magical and not so magical.
So, for those of you that don't know, Jodi and I met in 2013 on a Disney cruise, and we've been cruising ever since then. We're getting ready for our 8th Disney cruise together coming up in about a month.
And all total, we have been on a total of 20 cruises, if you count how many she and I have been on. So
Disney.
8 together and a total of 20 cruises. So a combined total of 20 cruises. That's what it is on Disney Cruise. We have cruised other cruise lines, but we want to tell you why our opinion in particular, why we choose Disney Cruise.
Yes. Why we choose to cruise on Disney.
That's good. Okay, so first and foremost, both of us like the fact that Disney has smaller ships. Disney has a total right now of 5 ships, with another one coming out next year and then another one coming out. I don't know the date to be announced on that one, but the Magic and the Wonder are their first 2 ships, and they have a passenger capacity of 2,400 in 875 staterooms. The Fantasy and the Dream have a total of 4,000 passenger capacity in 1,250 staterooms. Now, the Wish is the newest ship, and that has also a capacity of 4,000. The Treasure, which is coming out next year, has a capacity of 4,000. And the Destiny is their newest one. I don't know the date when that's coming out. But to put that in perspective, when you look at, Royal Caribbean and their giant Icon of the Seas, I think is the biggest cruise ship out there now. And that has a capacity of 7,600 people. MSC, their largest capacity is 7,000 people. Norwegian Cruise Lines, their largest capacity is 4,266. Carnival, 5,374, and Princess is kind of sort of the most comparable, which would be 3,600. Virgin has 2,700 passenger capacity, but Virgin is strictly adults only, no kids at all whatsoever, and I don't know how many ships they actually have.
So we choose to cruise Disney, smaller ships, which equals less crowded. And it may think that you may think that it has less choices, but it doesn't. It has plenty of choices, plenty of activities, plenty of things to do. So that's for us one of the big reasons. Also, another reason is their entertainment. They have Broadway level shows. So
if you like Disney, if you like Aladdin, Frozen, Tangled, Hercules, any Disney show, you will love the Broadway shows. They are put on in their biggest, the Walt Disney Theater, and they are literally Broadway quality shows. They are amazing. I know other ships have shows as well, but the quality, if you like Disney, even if you don't like Disney, the quality of the shows is amazing.
And they have a movie theater that shows all kinds of movies, but if there's like a current Disney release, you'll be able to see it on the theater or in the theater during the cruise. And they also have entertainment throughout the ship and the dining. And so it's just the experience that you get with that, to me, and I think to Jodi as well, it's just above and beyond. So definitely worth going on Disney.
And when you look at the number of people on the ships and the amount of shows and stuff, the theaters, you don't have to really, I don't think you and I have ever encountered a time where we could not get a seat in the theater.
No.
It
Nope.
also, what they do is it's staggered with your dinner times. So you have first seating dinner, you have a later show time. If you have second seating dinner, you have an earlier show time. So you're kind of assigned, in a way, your showtime. So you don't meet the crowds that you would
But
meet.
you don't have to go during that time too. So if you do something different, there is flexibility. Another reason that we choose to cruise on Disney is it's the only ship that has fireworks at sea. And they also they have either pirate night Or we've also heard they have frozen night, like for the Alaskan cruises and stuff. We've
For
only
the Norwegian, the ones they
yeah,
go to
we've only
Norway.
experienced pirate night, but it's just a spectacular evening. It's the only cruise ship that has fireworks at sea. And then a fun little tip about the fireworks, Jodi.
Their fireworks are fish food. So for anybody who is environmentally conscious, and that is one thing that we did not put on this list, but they will tell you all about the things they're doing to improve their carbon footprint, to reduce their carbon footprint, I should say, and to be more friendly to the environment. So their fireworks that they set off on every ship, it are fish food once they hit the ocean. They're biodegradable fish food. So they're feeding
another
us as they're entertaining us.
Yes, another reason, which is kind of an obvious reason, is what they offer for kids and teens and young adults. It's just they go above and beyond in their kids clubs. Do you want to talk a little bit about the clubs?
Okay, they have a nursery. So I think it's like up to 3 years old. They have a nursery. And then they have the Oceaneers Club and Lab, which is from 3 to 10 years old. They have the Edge, which is from 11 to 14. And then they have the Vibe, which is from 14 to 17. Once someone turns 18, and literally if you are in the Vibe and you have your 18th birthday, you are out of the Vibe. They are very strict with that cutoff. But then they have the 18 to 20 Society. And that is not a club that meets formally, has a formal place on the ship. That is a place that it's like a meetup. More like a meetup of you can go in and go out and do whatever. But the Oceaneers clubs and all that, those are set places in the ship that you check in and you check out of.
And also for kids, they have character meet and greets all throughout the cruise, various places, various, like they're dressed up in different ways. The kids can get photos, autographs, every character you can think of. And then they also have on the cruise ship, and this you have to reserve, is they have a royal gathering, which is free, but you do have to book it ahead of time. And it's just, it used to be called the Princess something.
Gathering.
Yeah, Princess Gathering. And it's just a quick little meet and greet, but you get to go around, take photos. We have reservations. We haven't done that one in a while. So we have booked that for our upcoming cruise. So we'll take photos and share what characters are there and what they have to offer.
The unfortunate thing is, since COVID, they got rid of this. They had this before COVID. They got rid of it. I really hope they bring it back. They had a character breakfast. Yes. So that you could go and you could sit in the dining room and the characters all came around and you took pictures and it was a lot of fun. After COVID, they got rid of that. Hopefully they're bringing things back little by little, some stuff, and they're leaving some stuff.
Like you were telling me pin trading. They used to have pin trading, and then our last couple of cruises, they didn't have it. And so it's just, and they'll have it preset times where you can go and trade your Mickey pins, and they have special ones that they'll have the captain and some of the crew members.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's kind of cool because you get to meet them, and then you get some special, unique Disney pins
that you wouldn't get at the parks. So
favorite. Oh, are you gonna talk about that?
No, I was gonna say, so there's an awful lot for kids, but as far as for adults, a lot of people are like, okay, yeah, it's Disney. What about the adults? Yeah, it's great for adults. This is why we really love this, because one, since they have all this stuff for kids, adults don't have to necessarily be bothered. They get adult time. They don't, you're on vacation. And yes, you want to spend time with your kids, that's great. But they have adult only areas and they have adult only events. So there's a lot of adult stuff. They have adult lounges, adult nightclubs. They have tastings like mixology classes, beer tastings, wine tastings, things like that are strictly for adults. And they are very on top of kid stuff for kids, adult stuff for adults.
And they have the Palo dining, the specialty dining, which you have to be an adult to go to that, and also Remy.
Yep.
And I heard about, it's called Art of the Theme Show Tour. We haven't done that, but we're going to plan to do that on our next cruise. And it's like behind the scenes for adults only. And you get to learn about, from what I understand, the designs and the different things that they offer on the Disney cruise, the naming, kind of secret. So, which makes me also think of hidden Mickeys. That's another fun thing that you're not going to get on another ship cruise line. There's hidden Mickeys throughout the ship. So it's kind of fun. It's fun for adults and it's fun for kids.
And on the
So,
Dream and the Fantasy, I believe on the Dream also, because they're sister ships, they have a scavenger hunt for adults
yep,
and kids, where they
yep,
have interactive, like they have a lot of pictures of Disney pictures up. And if you have the little card and you show the little card, the picture comes alive. So they
yep.
have all sorts of Disney art. It's not Disney, like overkill Disney, but they have a lot of Disney art, Disney music, Disney design, but you kind of forget.
Yeah.
It's not like you're
Not,
inundated.
I don't think it's obnoxious. I feel
No.
like it's, yeah, no, it's very appropriate. Okay, another reason we love to cruise Disney is rotational dining.
Dining.
Yes.
So while I know like the Icon of the Seas, I think it is, has 40 different restaurant areas to eat at. I don't want 40 different restaurants to eat at. On the Disney cruise, there are 3 main dining rooms, and you are assigned a seating, first seating, second seating, just like on most cruises, late seating, early seating, whatever you want to call it. And you are put either, they were doing this and they stopped it during COVID, and now I think it might be by request only, where they would sit you with other people depending on your party size. Now I think they sit you with your group unless you request to be seated with other people. I don't know that for 100% because we always sit together, because
Yeah.
that's how we met. We met
Yes.
by being sat together during a dinner seating. So you have a table, and let's say it's table number 58, and you're in the main dining room for the first night. The next night you'll go to another dining room with table 58, with the people that you're sitting with and the servers that have served you in the other dining room. So they follow you around and you just rotate dining rooms, and they let you know where you're going to be, and you have the menus. You could see the menus from whatever night that you're going to be at whatever restaurant, so you can kind of look ahead and see what you're going to have. They have the major main dining room that's more formal, and then they have the animator's palette, which is specific to Disney, and that has Disney stuff, and it's very cool. They have Turtle Talk and some other stuff that goes on there. And then they have another themed restaurant that depends on the ship that you're on. So the
And the
rotation
food,
dining is great.
and the food is great on the Disney cruise ships. There's so many offerings. There's vegetarian, there's vegan, there's
Okay.
seafood, there's steak. I mean, there's everything, and the food is still really, really good. So I don't think you need all those extra restaurants. That's just my opinion. And they have like cute little kids menus where the kids can order off of, and they're all decorated, and adults can order off that too if you want. And a pro tip, I know all cruise lines have room service. But you can order, it's not on the menu, but a Mickey ice cream bar that you get in the parks anytime, and that'll be delivered to your room. And you can also get it at the dining room. So I think it's the best dining. I love their dining.
And if you see something on one menu at a restaurant and you're in a different restaurant that night, you can ask if they can give you whatever they're serving in that other restaurant. And if they can, they absolutely, or that other dining room, sorry. And if they can, they absolutely will.
And
So
that's because the kitchen is the main kitchen, and it services all the dining rooms. All right.
So
And
really quick, they have those 3 main rotational dining, but they also have Palo, which is adults only, 18 and over, and that is an extra charge. That is a fine dining, I guess you would call it, on the Magic, on the Wonder, on all their ships, and then on the Dream and the Fantasy, they have Remy, which is an even more upscale, fancy French restaurant that is also an extra charge. So they have 2 restaurants that are extra charges, but all of their other dining options, which are the 3 rotational dinings, they have the dining by the pool, and they have cabanas, which is their breakfast,
all
brunch,
kinds of
lunch. Those are all free and included.
all kinds of options available. We also love Disney because it's really family friendly. It's just a different group. I mean, everybody's into different things, but I know for myself and for Jodi, we're not looking for like the party vibe. So there's drinking available for anyone that wants to, but there's not like that party scene going on. And another great thing is there's no casino. So we don't, there are people that like to have a casino on the cruise ship. There is not one on any of the Disney ships, and that doesn't bother me at all.
No.
It just kind of takes, like, there's not as much smoke, and yeah, it's just a really family friendly environment.
I think like on other cruise ships, cruise lines, you can get a alcohol drink package that you can't get. Yes, they serve alcohol on Disney cruises. They have the drink of the day and stuff like that. But I think that makes a big difference too, because you don't have, I've been on other cruise lines where people did get pretty drunk,
Yeah.
did get pretty obnoxious. And you really don't see that on a Disney cruise.
But I would say they do offer free soda, which isn't offered on other cruise lines, which is another great reason to go. I mean, not that you would book a cruise line for that, but it's just another convenience that they have serve yourself sodas available on the pool deck 24/7. And then also in dining, you can get, if you want a Coke or a Sprite or whatever, that's available to everybody free of charge all the time.
Alcohol is the only thing that costs all the time. I think if you wanted to get like coffee is free in the dining rooms, it's free up at the drink station. But if you want specialty coffees, like for adults, they have the Quiet Cove, which would be like not Starbucks, but that type of a place where you can go in and you can get a nice coffee, and it is adult only. So it's nice and quiet and peaceful. And on their coffees, they put little art, like they'll put Belle or Mickey, or they have Disney art on the coffee. It's I like that little touch. That's a good touch.
Another reason we like Disney cruise, if you ever get a chance to go on a repositioning cruise or a longer cruise, which by the way, oftentimes they're a little bit more affordable because they're often off season. But because we've been on a few of those, and they have, and I don't know, I mean, we haven't been on one lately since after or before COVID, we went on one, but they have special sometimes tours like behind the scenes in the Disney theater, behind the scenes in the galley. They'll do special classes, like we learned how to make leis when we were doing the Hawaiian repositioning cruise. And they also on one of them had a sleepover in the kids club. So those aren't offered on the regular itinerary, but if you can go on a repositioning cruise, they're a little bit more affordable, and you get everything that's offered on the general cruise and a little more. So it's kind of a fun thing to get to do.
And another thing that happens on repositioning cruises for those people who are still like, yeah, but I don't like kids. I don't want kids. There's too many kids. There's usually less kids on the repositioning cruises too, because they're on school times.
Yep.
So if you go on the off season is when you're going to find the repositioning cruises, and that's when you're going to get better deals. And if you don't like kids, but you love Disney, there's going to be less kids usually typically on those. But there's still, even if you don't like, oh my God, it's a lot of kids, I go to Disney and it's all kids. It's not like that. It is not like that at all on a Disney cruise.
It's a good mix of kids and adults, and it's for everybody. So, yep.
I think we've been on a couple cruises where I think there were more adults than kids. There weren't that many kids. And also there are special things, like they do have a Marvel night or a Marvel cruises. They have Star Wars cruises. So if you like specific Disney themed things, sometimes they have those as well. When we were on our Panama Canal cruise, they had a big Pixar party where my toe got stepped on. And I lost a nail 2 months later. It finally was better. But yeah, so they do have special things like that as well. What we really like too about a Disney cruise are their cabins. Now, you may love a certain type of cabin. You may have, I will only do a cabin with a porthole. I had someone tell me that I only want a square window. I don't even want a round porthole. It was like, that's really specific. But some people like interior cabins. Some people don't. I personally, when I was younger, we went on our very first cruise. It was an interior because that's all my parents could afford to bring us on. I hated it, absolutely hated it. Will not, if I can ever help it, do an interior again. But there are people who love interior, and the cabins on the Disney cruises are very nice on the interior ones. So I personally love a veranda. I love the veranda because you lay in bed and they're clear verandas and you just can see out, and it seems like it's just so much bigger than it is. But one of the really good things in a cabin on a Disney ship, especially if you're traveling with a lot of people, they have split bathrooms. meaning toilet and sink in one bathroom, shower and sink, or bathtub and sink in the other bathroom.
Yes. So somebody could be taking a shower and someone
I
else
thought you were going to say something else.
someone could be taking a shower, someone else could be using the restroom, and you're like in separate, completely separate areas, which it just makes it super convenient. And I mean, I've not been on a different cruise line that has that. So that is one thing, another thing that just is special about Disney. And they still really pay attention to detail. They leave the chocolates on the pillows at night. They do the towel animals and the different designs. They still have early where they come and clean the room, replenish the towels, and they have turn down service in the evening where they leave the chocolate. And so it's just, they really go above and beyond. And so when you're on vacation, for me, that's really nice. It's nice to have a, cleaner cabin. And I know some people don't care about that, but I mean, in my opinion, it's just kind of like, it's that special little touch that Disney still does. When I was recently on a Carnival cruise, I don't even think they cleaned I mean, we only went for 3 days, but they didn't offer that. They like would bring towels and stuff, but that was about it. It was like super minimal.
Did you have to ask for your room to be cleaned?
You know what? I just remember like the towels, they would come and do that. They definitely didn't have twice a day. It was once a day, and it was more, I think like they would empty your trash or, things like that, but it was super quick and just, like, I mean, that's not a reason in and of itself, but that's just another reason that Disney offers, above and beyond.
Disney is one thing that we did not write down, but this is a big reason, especially since COVID. Disney has always pushed sanitizing and cleanliness. And so whenever, and I know a lot of ships are doing this now, but whenever you go into the dining rooms, you have to wash your hands. And they always hand you, they used to hand you just wipes. But
now they pull sanitizer or wipes, and some like you have to actually wash when you're going to cabanas. Yeah.
So cleanliness has always been part of Disney. It's not a new thing. So you don't have to get used to, oh, I didn't have to wash before. And they kind of make sure, they're not rude about it, but they'll be like, hi, here you go, and hand you the wipes as they're, as you're entering. So you can't really skip that. But it's not, again, it's not obnoxious. It's appreciated, actually. And so when they clean your rooms as well, they'll put all your little cords together for you, and they make little
they really pay attention to detail. So it's really nice. And then the big reason, and I know if you watched our last video, we were kind of talking about our opinion with Disneyland, and it's kind of lost its magic, but on the Disney Cruise Line,
the magic's still there.
Yep.
It is still there. I know a lot of things changed with COVID. They got rid of a lot of things that they used to do, but they're slowly bringing some of that back. So hopefully it'll get even better. But truly, even if you're kind of a minimal Disney fan, like my ex was like, oh my God, is this going to be all Disney? And then when he got on the ship, he was like, this is amazing. So even if you're just a minimal Disney fan, that should not be a deterrent at all. Our opinion is well, actually, I want to say this. I don't know if you feel the same, but I do. I kind of want to tell everyone you got to try them. But at the same time, it's like, no. I don't want a lot more people knowing about
it. So that's great. You talked about the capacity, and sometimes there's less. Sometimes we get on and they're not at capacity. Usually, like if you go during a busier time, it's going to be oftentimes to capacity, but the magic is still there. All the little details. I mean, I look forward to the most simple things when going on a Disney cruise, like from finding the hidden Mickeys to all the other things that we talked about. So,
the Disney music that's playing from you walk down the hallway and you realize you're singing to the Disney songs and you didn't even think about it. To me, it just puts you in, like, Disneyland is the happiest place on earth. It's supposed to be known for. I feel like being on a Disney cruise is more like the happiest.
Yep. And there's plenty to do. I mean, even if you choose not to get off at certain ports, there is plenty to do on the ship, plenty to see, plenty to explore. and it's just an awesome time. So those are our reasons of why we choose to go Disney. What's your opinion? What do you think? What cruise ships do you like? Do you like Disney? Have you been on one? Do you have any questions?
What is your, if you have been on one and you didn't like it, what didn't you like about it? And if you have been on other cruises, what do you think that Disney, like if you've been on both, that Disney could do better? We would love to hear. You may not agree with our opinion. We don't even often, not often, we don't even agree on things. It's not often. She always has to agree with me. Just kidding. But we don't always agree. However, this is our opinion. And if your opinion is different, please let us know. We'd love to hear. Please keep it appropriate as well. So comments, please like, please share, please follow. There's a little bell up at the top of the page that if you click on that, that'll notify you every time we drop something, a video, a short, a vlog, anything like that. You can email us at Jodi, Jodi, and Jodi, Kandy. So it's Jodi, Kandy, @gmail. And I realize I did that really poorly, but Jodi and Kandy @gmail. You can email us as well. If you have any particular, like we went over these pretty quickly, and if you want us to dive into one of them more, we'll be happy to do that. Just let us know.
Yes. All right. And we're getting ready for a cruise. So we're going to be doing some videos on like what we bring on a cruise. And if there's anything that you're interested or you want us to look out for, please let us know.
So on that note, we will see you real soon.
Bye.